So just as I get back to Winchester, you have to disappear, Matt Sheahan. So where is Mr. PlanetSail this week?
I am in Barcelona at the Orient Express Racing Team's base, the French America's Cup team's base, and I've come down for their christening, which happened today.
Excellent, excellent. Now, how do you manage to get an invite like that, especially when they probably have an idea of how much champagne you might consume while you're there?
Well, first of all, working backwards, they did it at lunchtime, and they know that I just don't drink at lunchtime. No.
And
well,
what
no,
what
I'm
is the
very
big occasion? What I mean, what's
the big occasion was basically launching this boat, their AC-75. It's significant for all kinds of reasons. It's very significant for the team because this is their first and only AC-75. It's also the last of all of the teams to launch. So we've seen all the other boats. This is the last one to launch. It's a big moment, as I say, for the French because they're quite open about the fact that they're not Billy Big Budget. They have limited funds, quite substantial, but limited compared to the others. Their team's much smaller than many of the others. So this is a big moment for them. It's interesting because it marks, as I say, the final stage of the boat launches, but it's also interesting because the championship boat spotters among our handy viewers may well have spotted, or probably already knew, that the thing that marks this boat out is this is actually came from the drawing board of the Kiwis. They bought a design package from the Kiwis and have shortcutted a whole load of the design progress. And I actually came out yesterday because I wanted to talk to the team and find out how that sort of manifested itself. I mean, did the Kiwis just send them a complete finished boat and a bit like an Amazon package, and they sort of unwrapped it and thought, oh, that looks really nice, we'll go racing it? No, obviously that's not what happened. What happened was that the French bought a complete design package and then went away and built the boat. And I we were joking about it yesterday, saying, the way you've described it, it's a little bit like buying an Airfix model kit of a Spitfire. And there's the picture and everything else, and then you go to build it, and you open the box. Well, there you go. Fancy that! I even picked the right plane. I did not know that was coming. Well, that's good. Excellent. Well, I'll tell you what's different then. Right, let's start there. I'll tell you what's different about your one is that if you open the box, I hope there'll be a lot of plastic parts in there and some instructions.
It's got 4 acrylic paints, a brush, poly cement.
Mate, you've got it so easy.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it goes without saying. It's not written on the box, but I think it goes without saying it does come with an instruction manual of how to put it together.
Exactly. Well, in this context, they've got exactly that, but without the components inside. All they've got in their box is the drawings, and then they had to go away and figure out how to make it. So they've had to build this themselves from a set of drawings that the Kiwis provided. The interesting thing that I didn't know about this process, I mean, I knew they were doing that, but the interesting thing about it was that under the rules, in the protocol, you can sell you can sell them your design package, but as soon as one of you launches your boat, in this case it was the Kiwis, that's it. You can't talk anymore. You're not allowed to discuss anything to do with it. So you need to get all your questions in before they launch the boat. And of course, the Kiwis launched their boat some time ago. I mean, they were already building, they built this by then. But it was interesting. I didn't know that. So they're justifiably very, very proud of this boat. I think the more I talk to them about it, the more I think about what they've done. I think this has been a bit of a masterstroke by them because one of the problems that all the other teams, basically, apart from the Kiwis, faced was that they had to make key decisions on where they were going to pin the tail on the donkey when it came to the design of their AC-75 a long time ago. In the case of Alinghi, they'd only just started sailing their 75, one of the old ones they bought for the Kiwis, and they went out of this harbour and they gave themselves quite a fright because they realised it was really quite hard to fly it. They were quite open about it when I spoke to them at their christening. And they went out there and they had to learn how to fly the boat. But at the same time, their design team was saying, you need to sign off on these ideas. And well, we don't even know how to fly the boat yet. So it's a real put a finger in the air job, as in sort of guessing that. Whereas these guys, they didn't have to make any of those decisions because the Kiwis had already made those decisions. They just had to trust that the Kiwis weren't going to create a lemon. And that has not only saved a lot of time and, of course, money, but also it's given them a lot of confidence because they know that, you know, the chances are that this design is pretty good. I mean, the Kiwis might, who knows whether the Kiwis will win and successfully defend the cup. But what we do is that they know a hell of a lot about it. And if you had to start from a basic package, then this is a good one. And the other key thing they did was that they could have bought an earlier design from the earlier Kiwi design, but they decided to hang on. That they said we could have bought, they call it design 2.5. So it's sort of in between the two generations. They could have bought the 2.5 design, but they decided to hold out for design 3, which is what the Kiwis have got. And they said the compromise there was that we knew we weren't going to get it until quite late and we're the last in, but we know that we've got something that is right up. So it's pretty exciting. And that's before we talk about the details, but yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Well, Matt, we are already 1 minute past our 5-minute limit. But so I just want to finish with one last question. I think most armchair casual sort of observers like me that aren't paying as much attention as you would put the French at the back of the pecking order. They would put them at the bottom of the pecking order because they're, you know, the last to come to the game. But based on what you've just said and the smart choices that you believe they've made, throwing their lot in with the Kiwi design package, do you still put them at the bottom of the pecking order? Or do you think
definitely not? Definitely not. Definitely not. I think I know I keep saying it's about all the teams, but maybe that's a mark of how different this cup cycle is. They're going to be, we need to watch them carefully. I think they're going to be very interesting in French. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them get through various rounds of the Challenger Series, Selection Series at all. There's a very different, and so one reason is because of the boat, but the boat itself isn't going to give them a golden bullet all the way through to the ticket all the way through to the final. What I'm also impressed with in the 2 days I've spent down here is the atmosphere within the team. This is a small, by cup standards, this is a small team. I think they've got something like 115 staff, team members. So it's quite small. And they are on a limited budget. And interestingly, they draw a lot of comparisons between their team and the Kiwis. And the Kiwis have famously been a small, very efficient team that they've had a fair bit of money, but not mega funds. And so they've had to think very carefully about every move they make. I mean, that's well known in the Kiwi camp. And it comes across here, and the French team see themselves and deliberately trying to emulate what the Kiwis do, the way they work. And I think we've seen that be very, very successful. Well, we've clearly seen it be very successful with the Kiwis. And if the French can pull that off, and my feeling is they could. You know, there's a real interesting spirit here. They don't see themselves as the underdogs, certainly not in terms of when it comes to chances. Of course, no one's raced yet, and more importantly, no one's lost yet. So they're all very happy and everybody's talking. But there's a lot to make you want to watch this team. And I think that also, when I say, I've said this about Lingy, because I think they're an interesting team to watch. I think the Brits are very interesting because they've got some interesting ideas in their team. Americans have got an amazing low drag machine that I saw yesterday. I went round to the base, which is just on the, well, you can't see it there, but just on the other side of the harbour. And I went and had a chat with Terry Hutchinson at American Magic. And I got to see the boat close up. And what a machine that is. Really super low freeboard. Beautiful and sleek and amazing piece of kit, I think. With windage, so they're really interesting.
I want you to take us back there on another one, Matt. I noticed that Orient Express realised that we've had their foil package in vision, and they're very concerned about the viewership of 5-minute warning, and that's why the boat is being wheeled away out of view, but they've done it a bit late. If you haven't had too much champagne, can you just do a 360? I haven't had any. Oh, good. All right, I'm just checking.
I haven't had any.
360 per hour.
360. Doesn't mean I won't fall over. 360. Hang on, let me do it without knocking everything over. So, well, let me start there. that is obviously the boat. Behind me is the yard, the shed where it's going back in. Oops, the airpiece is just popping up. Hang on, stand by. Yeah, there we go. So yes, they're wheeling it back in. Their base, by the way, in Barcelona is the furthest out of all of them. It's quite a long way from anywhere. And it looked like, when I got here yesterday, it looked like it really quite a big base. I thought, God, you've done well. Nice base. And they said, yeah, we like it. But when we get the big boat out, it does feel a little bit tight. And they're not kidding. There's not a lot of room here at all. But anyway, that's their shed. That's the hospitality bit where everybody was listening to the speeches and drinking and the rest of it. That's the view out towards the city, across the harbour. And then you can see the World Trade Center, which is the brown coloured building, just there.
Yeah.
World Trade Center. And then anybody knows Barcelona knows that there's the Mare Centrum, which is the shopping centre on sort of like the island where the Brits and the Lingui are down there. And then over here, we've got, we might just be able to make out the American flag. There. So that's the American base there. And if you go along that shore, you won't be as well. I could show you along that shore where the W Hotel is.
Yeah.
There's an Italian flag, and the Italians around there. So they're only a stone's throw from here, but it takes about, well, if you're going to walk it, it's probably the best part of an hour to get from here around to there. So
yeah,
it's a bit of a fiddle to sort of get around the place, but no, it's good. They got a good base. They built it out of containers. Yeah, and it's got a really, really good feel. It has been a genuinely fascinating day out, or 2 days down here, and seeing the boat for real. And there is nothing. I know we're blessed with so much video at the moment nowadays when it comes to looking at 75s, looking at the 40s, but until you see one in the flesh, even with it just not sailing, just standing next to it, you've got to see it to believe it. It's a monster. I mean, they all are, because they're all the same size, but it really hits home just how big these boats are. And then you start imagining them doing 50 knots, all supported on one little foil on the side and an even skinnier foil at the back. I know we see it in the video, but when you see it in the flesh, it's amazing. And I would strongly urge anybody who's even remotely thinking about popping down here and seeing the Cup, whether it's during the event, whether it's now during the training, do it. You won't regret it. It's fascinating.
Matt, you are having a lovely time. You are happy as a pig in the proverbial.
Yes.
And good to see you again. I expect to see you on the start line of Park Run in Winchester this Saturday.
Yes. Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I put on a bit of weight this week. I'm not going to be very competitive.
Excellent. All
Can
right.
we make your model? Can we make your Spitfire afterwards?
Yeah.